Inside, a hole in the roof and has appeared in a car park in York. If you've been watching us, you might know the answer.
Pop-up Shakespearean theatre. It's the Rose Theatre, and Colin's there for us this morning, giving us a little look around, Colin.
Oh yeah, I'm backstage. This is the monitor where actors watch to see their cues and then head onto the stage. I've got some of the props, a rose by any other name. If you come this way, here's some lemons from the market scene in Romeo and Juliet, an apple as well. Come this way for my big entrance. This is where the actors walk onto the stage for my big moment. What light through yonder window breaks? I don't think anyone has to worry about me nicking their parts. There's Romeo and Juliet up there. Give us a wave. We'll be speaking them in a minute. But first of all, I have been snooping around this theatre to find out how it's all been put together. In Much Ado About Nothing, Shakespeare wrote, "Would my horse had the speed of your tongue." Well, what would he have made of the speed of this? In 3 weeks, a car park right in the centre of York turned into a full-sized pop-up Shakespearean theatre, the first ever in Europe.
And it was all the idea of one man.
Somebody said, "Oh, I expected it pop-up. I thought it was inflatable." I went like, "No, it's not inflatable." There were a number of Elizabethan theatres, all different shapes, bizarrely. And why wouldn't there be? Because there were people trying out new things. Theatre was in its infancy then. If they came here today, they'd recognise it. They'd go, "It's just the same. It's just made of scaffolding. What's this stuff? You know, we used oak and you're using something else." But they would recognise inside. They'd go, "You're using flying. We use flying." They'd recognise trapdoors.
The whole enterprise is costing around £3 million without any subsidies. 660 people can be seated, with another 300 standing, exposed to the elements.
It's incredibly exciting to be in. As soon as you step onto the stage, it feels very intimate, and it feels like you're kind of being embraced by the audience.
It's true, nobody's more than about 15 metres away, which is really special. And yeah, and also pop-up. I mean, it's been called a pop-up, but it didn't pop up. This was like so much effort and gargantuan amounts of work and design, but I really think it's worked, and I really think it's paid off.
And out the back, a pop-up costume room being used for both Macbeth and A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Are these costumes for two of them then?
They are the costumes for two of them.
Don't get them confused.
We don't want Lady Macbeth coming on in half a fairy, do we?
How has the fact you've got this Shakespearean-style theatre influenced you?
It's massively influenced you, because you have to be very robust in your design and in your design decisions. You have to be bold and be very committed.
And just look how bold and committed I was to this costume.
This is a look. This is a strong look.
It's a strong look.
So finally, did Shakespeare actually ever make it to York?
We know his troupe did, but there's no historical records that he got here. We think the inference is that if his troupe came, he would come with them, but he didn't sign a bit of graffiti anywhere going, "Will was here."
But now it's Shakespeare in York all summer long. Let's go up onto the balcony to meet Romeo and Juliet themselves. It's one of the 4 plays that's on here for the next 2 weeks. We've got Alexandra Dowling as well, you'll know from shows like The Musketeers and Merlin, which she was in with Alex Vlahos.
We did. We shared a scene together. Well, an episode together, yeah.
And you're also in The Musketeers, which is on tonight on
Versailles.
Versailles, which is on BBC Two tonight as well. So, as actors, just how does being in a venue like this change your performance?
Well, for doing Shakespeare, it's absolutely brilliant, because as it would have been at the time, you've got the groundlings, which you walk through, and obviously with all the soliloquies, there's direct, almost you can give the thoughts out to the audience, and you'll be seeing them, because half the shows are matinees as well, so yeah, you'll be able to sort of eyeball people, which will be a bit scary, but... Yeah.
Alexandra mentioned the groundlings. This is people who pay and can stand. It'll be, what, 2.5 hours or so through Romeo and Juliet you'll be standing?
Yeah, 2.5 hours, God help them, for Richard III. But it's a completely unique space. It's challenging. It's also incredibly rewarding. 15 metres away from the stage at all times. And like Alexandra said, that you can see them, which means that you will be able to, they'll be able to judge you and you'll be able to judge them.
And it is open to the elements. If it rains in York, It's going to rain in the audience.
Yeah, just the groundlings though. Everything else is covered, but
And we're covered, aren't we?
part of the experience.
Romeo and Juliet has been done so often before. What's different about this production?
I think, well, every Romeo and Juliet will always be different depending on who the Romeo and Juliets are. We have had a chemistry before, like you said, in Merlin.
Any comparisons to that? Yeah.
Well, they both die.
Hope we didn't give that away.
Lindsay Posner, our wonderful director, has set our Romeo and Juliet in 1932 in Italy, at the height of fascism and Mussolini. So this will be completely unique, and I mean, just the space in general is going to make the whole play different.
Well, it is on all summer long, and one of the other productions is Midsummer Night's Dream. So we thought we'd leave you with a treat. We have some Elizabethan singing, courtesy of Leandra Ashton, who will be playing a fairy in Midsummer Night's Dream. Band, take it away.
Come live with me and be my love, and we will all the pleasures prove, that hills and dales, valleys and fields, and all the craggy mountain yields, there we will sit upon the rocks, seeing the shepherds.
I'd like to stay there, really, wouldn't you?
Seems a shame to interrupt.
It does, doesn't it? Thank you very much. We've interrupted.
We have, though. Sorry.
Here, in a few minutes on BBC Breakfast, we're going to meet a baby who was born in a lay-by, and the Highland midwife who helped deliver her. They're all fine, they're healthy, they're here. Apparently she's very well behaved as well.
Good, good.
The midwife.
Let's
and
have a
the baby.
last look at the headlines before we do that.